In Israel's most northern point, at the very tip of the Hula Valley, is one of Israel's most important national parks. And in today's episode, we are going to discover the ancient ruins of Tel Dan. There are some great activities to do here at Tel Dan. First of all, it's the perfect place to have your afternoon lunch or barbecue with your group while visiting the north of Israel. But there's also an abundant amount of hiking trails and water, and streams, riverbeds, and springs. And where's all this water coming from? So it originates on the top of Mount Hermon, Israel's tallest mountain, located in the Golan Heights. In the wintertime, it is capped with snow and even boasts a ski resort. Well, in the spring, when all of that snow melts, it seeps through the limestone and pops out as springs here in Tel Dan and another national park just slightly to the east of here known as Banyas. All of the water from Banyas and Tel Dan will eventually flow together and become what is known as the mighty biblical Jordan River. Let's now go discover some of the biblical archaeology here at Tel Dan. Wow, this is truly amazing to be walking along the walls of a First Temple period Israelite Jewish city here in the city of Dan. The city of Dan is actually named after one of the 12 tribes of Israel, one of the 12 sons of Jacob, whose name was Dan. Originally, Dan had conquered and settled the area near the large city of Tel Aviv, or what was Jaffa back in the day. However, many of them relocated here in the north in an area where there was a city by the name of Laish. Laish was conquered by the tribe of Dan, and this became known as the city of Dan. We're now walking through the city gate of ancient Dan. And in times of antiquity, the gate of a city played an important role because it was here that people would negotiate and finalize any type of business dealings that was being done. But not only that, right here, we still have the ancient ruins. These are original, my friends, from the First Temple period where the king of Israel would sit. And if people had questions or people needed to speak to the king, they would speak to him here at the entrance to the city of Dan. One of the most important discoveries, archaeological discoveries, in the entire 20th century was probably the David Stone, located right here in Tel Dan. It was a stone inscription that was inscribed by the king of Damascus, commemorating his victory over the kings of the south. One of them was known to be from the house of David. The stone inscription was written about 50 years after the death of David. So this is our first non-biblical account of the existence of David and the dynasty that came from him. One of the darkest periods of Jewish history was the division of the nation of Israel. It divided into two separate kingdoms, and this occurred after the death of Solomon, King Solomon. You see, his son Rehoboam, who took over the throne, was heavily taxing the tribes of Israel. And in the north, there was a rebel by the name of Jeroboam. And Jeroboam told the people that there was no need to pay these taxes to Jerusalem, that they could establish their own kingdom. However, the temple, being in Jerusalem, would draw the people from the north to the south. So Jeroboam built an altar here in Dan so that the people didn't need to go to Jerusalem anymore. And this here, my friends, is a recreation of the altar that Jeroboam built here at Dan for his subjects not to travel to Jerusalem. Thank you for joining us today as we explored another beautiful place here in the land of Israel. And on your next trip here, make sure to visit this important biblical site in Israel's north, Tel Dan.